So let me just have a little try again. So let me see. Oh yeah, it's smooth, it's creamy. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Beauty's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious masala sauce. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make a really nice masala sauce. So this recipe is really easy to do, and this is a great sauce to store in the freezer. If you haven't got a lot of time one day and you know this is in the freezer, then this will make a really quick and easy curry. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've put a large saucepan, and I'm going to put that onto a high heat on my hob, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the base of that pan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that pan to heat up. But before I go, I just want to say that if you have enjoyed this video today and you'd like to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you did really enjoy this video, then please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. Everything like that really helps me out, and I would really appreciate it. So yes, as I said, I'm just going to leave this pan to heat up. The pan is getting nice and hot, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one red onion that I've just simply peeled, sliced and diced. So I'm going to pop that into the base of the pan like so, and I'm going to fry that until it starts to soften and hopefully go a lovely golden brown colour. I'm actually going to turn the heat down a little bit as well. I don't need the pan that hot. I've just discovered that when you're using a stainless steel pan, you don't need to heat it up as much. You only need to put it on a medium to low heat and it will still get as hot. So I've decided to start doing that, and it's working brilliantly. So yes, as I said, I'm just going to continue to fry the onions. The onions have started to go a lovely golden brown colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some garlic. So I've got one large clove of garlic. In the original recipe I said 2, but as this was so big I just decided to use 1. And I'm going to fry that, not for long, just until I can start to smell the garlic and it starts to turn slightly golden brown. You don't want to burn garlic because it goes there's a terrible taste if it's burnt, I think, personally. So I don't like to burn garlic, but I do like to just fry it until I can smell it, and I can see it going golden brown now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the red pepper. So I've chopped the top from a red pepper, removed the core and the stalk, and I've just simply sliced and diced the flesh. And I'm going to pop that in, like so. I'm going to fry the red pepper now until it sort of starts to soften. Red pepper does take a little while to soften, so you just need to heat it through and it starts to soften. So this will take a little while, but do persevere. And I'm just going to continue to fry this red pepper. The red pepper has started to go slightly soft, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in 1 courgette. So I've simply peeled and grated the courgette. You don't have to grate it if you don't want to, you can chop it. I just find it cooks a bit quicker if I grate it, so that's why I normally like to always grate vegetables. I've tried to grate a red pepper before, but it didn't work too well. So I've given up on grating them and just trying to chop them as small as possible. We are going to be blending this sauce at the end, so it doesn't really matter too much how big the vegetables are, but obviously they do cook a bit quicker if they are grated. So that's perfect there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my spices. So I've got a teaspoon of mild chili powder that I'm just going to add in. I've got a teaspoon of garam masala as well that I'm just going to add in. A bit more than that, I think. Like so. And then I've got a teaspoon of ground sweet cinnamon as well. I love ground sweet cinnamon. Actually, it's probably only about half a teaspoon, to be honest. If you put too much in, it does taste a bit too sweet, I think. And then I've also got a teaspoon of ground ginger as well. So I'm just going to add in a teaspoon of ground ginger. And I'm also going to add in a teaspoon of dried oregano as well, or oregano, depending on which continent you're standing, of course. And then I'm going to fry those ingredients round and mix all the herbs in and the spices in with the rest of the vegetables. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to add 1 tin of chopped tomatoes as well. So I've just added a tin of chopped tomatoes, and then I've got about 200 mils of chicken stock. You could use vegetable stock if you wanted to make this for a vegan or vegetarian, or you could use bone broth as well. And I'm just going to swirl the stock around in the tin and just get rid of all the juice from the outside. So that's all the juice gone there, as you can see. And then I'm going to mix those ingredients together like so. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper as well. So salt and pepper to your taste. You don't have to add it if you don't want to. There is a lot of herbs and spices in here, so you don't really need to, but if you want to, then you can. So I'm just going to add those, and I'm going to add some bay leaves to this as well. Bay leaves are really great for the stomach. They really help they're really good for digestion and all sorts of other things as well. We're quite lucky, we have fresh ones growing in the garden. I've got a bay leaf tree in the garden, but dried are just as good as well. So I'm going to turn the heat back up on this, and I'm going to bring this sauce to the boil. The sauce has come to the boil, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the heat down to a medium heat, and I'm going to leave this to simmer. And what I'm hoping is the juice and the stock will soak into all the vegetables in here, and we'll get a very jammy consistency. I've said this in previous videos before, but if you have a jammy consistency, it tends to blend a lot thicker if it's jammy at the end. So I always like to leave the sauce to simmer for a good 15-20 minutes, sometimes even half an hour. And what should happen is the liquid will disappear, and it will soak up into all the vegetables, and that will become jammy, and we'll be able to blend that and make quite a thick sauce from it. The sauce has been on the hob for a good 15 minutes, and as you can see, when I pull the spoon back, there's no juice running from the tomatoes or any of the other vegetables. So that's what I like to call jammy. So I'm going to remove this from the heat now. I'm going to leave it to cool, and once it's cooled, I will blend it. The sauce has cooled, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bay leaves out from the sauce, because you don't need those in there anymore, and I'm going to pour the sauce into the blender like so. I'm going to try and get as much out as possible as well. Waste not, want not, as my dear old nan used to say. God bless her, God rest her soul. Yep, so I'm just going to pop that in there like that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend these ingredients together. I have blended those ingredients until they are smooth. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour them back into the saucepan. I did give the saucepan a little bit of a clean. And then when it's dinner time, I will heat the sauce up and just add it to the roasted chicken that I'm going to make in the oven. You can also use this sauce for pork. You could use it with beans, you could use it with lentils, chickpeas. It's also a really nice sauce to have on its own as well. So yes, as I said, when it's dinner time, I will heat this back up and I will add the chicken and the rice to it. But I'm going to give this a try. But I've just got to go and get myself a spoon first. Right, I've grabbed myself a spoon, so I'm going to give this a little try. It smells really good, I have to say. So I'm sure it's going to taste as good as it smells, as I always say in these videos. Oh, I have forgotten one thing. I will be back. I forgot to add the coconut cream, and it is a wee bit spicy, I have to say. So I've just added a couple of tablespoons of coconut cream, and I'm just going to mix those into the curry sauce, and hopefully that won't be as spicy then. So let me just have a little try again. So let me see. Oh yeah, it's smooth, it's creamy. It's got a bit of a kick when it hits the back of your throat, but once it's got the chicken and all of the rice, I don't think that will affect you as badly. That does pack quite a punch, I have to say. If you wanted it less spicy, I would add more coconut cream or maybe a little bit less garam masala than I did. So yes, as I said, I'm going to be having this for our dinner this evening and it smells so good. I'm really looking forward to it. That's how you make this delicious masala sauce, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this for our dinner this evening and it smells and tastes so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video.